Welcome back, friends. I am here on the 9th of March and have my phone back, so slightly better lighting today, though my outfit's too good and I just needed to share a bit of it. It's, yeah, this awesome dress from where I work. Anyway, I just wanted to come share the relief of getting my phone back, and also like learning to receive help, because I was a little bit helpless trying to get my phone back without asking for help, basically, because I don't have a car. It was I left it in a spot that was not easy for me to access. Even when I tried to book a Uber, it wouldn't allow me to because it needed to send a verification code to my phone, which I did not have. That's kind of the point. Thankfully, I have a wonderful couple of new friends that were willing to drive all the way down there and get it for me, and then they came to visit me at work, which they were hoping to do today anyway before I lost my phone. So they got to come and check out the store and buy pretty things, and I shouted them some of those pretty things because they saved me a huge cab fare that I couldn't even book. So yeah, because I didn't even have a phone to be able to call like a regular cab company that would have paid. I don't even know if they exist anymore and if they completely overcharge you. I don't know. Anyway, buying them some pretty things seems like a way better investment of my money, and I really appreciated the help. So shout out to those friends. Good times. We had a great time yesterday too at the concert before I forgot my phone. So yay. And yeah, then today just had work otherwise, and then couldn't look at my phone until after. But as much as you need it for convenience things, like, nothing really happens much. Nothing that serious that often. Sometimes, but sometimes it's good to just not have it. So you know what I did actually? I didn't actually know exactly how I was going to talk about this today, where I was going to go with this conversation today. I just knew I needed to share that my phone has been found and it's back in my possession, and yeah, the journey I kind of learned from that, but also just like part of me didn't want to accept this help from these friends because one of them I literally met yesterday and the other one I've only hung out with a handful of times. She's a friend of a friend, and she's now my friend, obviously. But yeah, I felt guilty accepting that help. But I also know if the tables were turned and I was in possession of a car and could make something easier for someone, I would do it without even blinking, I wouldn't even think about it. And I know I probably have done it when I have been in a position with a car and somebody needs some help, and I found out about it and I figured out that I had the time and I could help. I wouldn't even, so it's good to actually receive it sometimes. It's a give and take universe, you don't always have to be the one giving. Anyway, so yeah, I usually entertain myself with either audiobooks or YouTube videos or something on the way to work, whilst having my headphones in and kind of tuning out the world. I still tuned out the world a little bit without the tech to tune it out instead. You know what I did? I was reading a book on the tram and on the bus. It's about working from wherever, which clearly I'm into. I'm talking about being a coach and speaking on here, so it's a goal of mine. And that wherever might be a stable home, to be honest, but I just want to learn ways to choose different ways of working, but also just living and choosing to see how what's possible in life, basically, when it comes to work and earning an income and doing what fills you up in this world, what lights you up, what you want to share with the world. Yeah, so Lisa Messenger is a brilliant entrepreneur, Australian entrepreneur that's been kicking about for a while. She runs the Collective Hub, which I think they still do some stuff. I don't know if she's still running it. She might have pivoted since this book came out, because this is 2019 this came out, but she used to run the Collective magazine, which was a very holistic, beautifully curated magazine. It kind of started well beyond the time of magazines, so but she made it work for the time that it suited. And then she talks about how she let go the print version in order to have more time freedom, but still manages to run businesses remotely with her crew that also get to enjoy the perks of working remotely from wherever they want to call their home and around their lives, It's a beautiful thing. So, yeah, it was lovely to just read. And I mean, often I'm listening to audiobooks, so it's a form of ingesting the book. But it was just actually cool to just, actually read. I think we don't do ourselves a disservice. We think we don't read that often, but we are reading things online all the time. But because it's shorter format and then, but sometimes you find yourself, especially on like a Facebook post, you think it's going to be like a couple of paragraphs and then you start reading and you get kind of invested in the story, and then you're like, oh, I'll just read a couple more and then hopefully it'll finish soon. And then you're kind of more invested in the story, and then you're like, oh, maybe I should just check to see how long it is. And then like sometimes you don't, and you just keep reading into the end and it takes you freaking forever because it's super long. And sometimes you do scroll down and you're like, whoa, that's too much, and you're like, you know what, not that invested. That's no for me. Because these apps are such time suckers. Whereas this reading, long form reading, allows us to actually learn like a fully formed idea, or like a bunch of ideas, really, that, depending on what the book's on. And so, I just love books. I've always loved books, but this is actually a book I borrowed from a friend when I first got here, and I still got it, so it's about time I cracked in. I did start it when I first got it, and then I had to start again because I'm like, I don't remember what was happening. So I made it about that far in. It's not like a particularly hard book to read because it's lots of pretty pictures and not too wordy. But anyway, I think there's a beauty to being able to work from wherever, and I think having the time and location freedom can really make a huge difference in a lot of people's lives, so that they learn to show up for what is most important to them, which likely isn't some other person's 9 to 5, well, some other person that owns a company that has you working 9 to 5. The person who owns it might just, call into an executive meeting once in a while and that's it. Or they might be really hands-on, but working for someone else, And there's a time and a place where that's great. Like, I'm loving my part-time job at the moment. And loving when it gives me more, like, full-time hours. It does do sometimes. It does happen sometimes. But I just get to bring joy through beautiful clothing and jewellery to people day in, day out, and with beautiful people as well. So ain't nothing to complain about here. It's a good time, and man, we have the coolest clothing, which is right up my alley, and I just get to play dress up. So, yay. Anyway, yeah, I think my main takeaway from today's video is just, learning to receive help when you need it. I probably would have had to put off getting my phone until tomorrow, because by the time I'd heard back from the place where it was kind of too late to catch an Uber there and then get back to work on time. If I could have even booked the Uber. So I probably could have just swung it, but yeah, it was just going to be a mission. So thank you to my angel friends. So good. Yeah. Don't know if I said enough at the start, but I'm Crystal from Crystal Clear Coaching. I come on here daily to talk about tuning into you. But by us, I mean you tune into you, I tune into me. Because we're so taught in this world to tune into external things, put our attention and focus on things outside of us, and seek external validation for what should be internally validated by what feels true and sovereign for us. So yeah, I just come and have various chats towards that, and I share as a coach different things I can help with, but also different things you can think about, questions to ask yourself that might help you get a bit deeper as to what's blocking you from what you most want in this world. And yeah, I hope if I'm new to you, you join me. If you've been around here for a while, I hope you can continue to get something out of this for yourself, and please feel free to either leave a comment and subscribe, all that stuff. I really would love to reach more people and get more intentional about getting this conversation kind of out there, because we are the most important person in our life, each of us, and we're the only one that has full control. Well, maybe not full control, because external things happen to us too, but we're the only ones that can take control of our lives. We're the only ones that can choose to be open to coaching, and then thus do the work of our coaching and our healing and whatever we need. And that might feel daunting, but it's also empowering, because it's up to you. It gets to be your choice. You can just choose in a moment to act differently, show up differently, or even if you can't immediately change years and years of patterning, you can start to notice it, and occasionally when you see it come up, you think, maybe I don't want to react that same way again. Or let's just try feeling really uncomfortable and try and step forward in this way that might be a bit healthier in the long run, and might actually help us unblock from what's holding us back from what we really want. So yeah, it's very important to tune into you. I will leave it there for tonight, and I'll see you tomorrow. Much love.